The kicker, Graham Gano, set to put his foot into this one. And off we go in our nation's capital. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Here are the Commanders for their first drive of the game. Leading them out, their young quarterback, the rookie from LSU.
We're seeing it more and more in this league, how teams love to have athletes back there taking the snaps, guys who can throw it and move around and get yardage with their legs if needed. He's one of the best examples that we see out there right now. He can throw for hundreds of yards one week and then run for 100+ the next. He adds an extra dimension that really confounds defenses when he puts it all together.
From the 31, here's a 2nd and 8. First carry of the game for Brian Robinson. Looking to find a lane, but he can't. Reined in at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. Now Daniels. That is caught. He's going to have the first down and then some. Touchdown, Washington. A big play there. 70 yards. And the Commanders march right down the field in 3 plays to claim the early advantage.
As a fan, is there anything prettier than a well-executed post route?
No, it's a thing of beauty, especially when it's done like that for a touchdown.
The throw, the catch, and how about the run after to get it to the end zone?
Matt Gay on for the extra point. It's good, and Washington will take a 7-0 lead. Scoring summary, 3-play drive, and the result, a touchdown for Washington. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. And they got to be pleased with this. He brings it all the way up to the 40-yard line. So here are the Giants ready to start their initial drive of the game. They're led onto the field by their quarterback, a man who's made quite the name for himself in the NFL, and that's Russell Wilson.
His ability to adjust on the fly is almost unmatched in the game right now because it leads to a couple of snaps per game where you just sit back and ask yourself, how did he pull that off? Opponents can practice and prepare each and every week all they want, but this guy, he is hard to corral.
Ball placed at the 45 for 2nd and 5. Here's Wilson. Open man, that's Malik Neighbors. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. He'll get 15 and a Giants first down.
But one of the ways that quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Now the first carry for Devin Singletary. And some space to move right away as he's all the way up to the 30. 10 more there and another first down. Now a toss to Singletary running to the left. A short gain here, maybe a yard to the 29. They work now on 2nd and 9. From the shotgun, Wilson. That's complete. It's Neighbors. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that'll leave them with a 3rd and 2. Wilson. This is caught. It's Robinson with a Giants touchdown. A 22-yard touchdown grab. And the Giants are able to match the opening drive touchdown against them with one of their own. Well, on that connection, it looked like they maybe had some pre-play communication. Maybe one of them noticed an area that was open in the defense to get the pass to.
When you put the time in, sometimes you have that great silent communication that you just noticed right there, because the best quarterback-receiver combos in the NFL, they know how to make those adjustments at the line of scrimmage when they see something pre-play, and they got it done there.
Graham Gano on for the extra point. It's up and good. So these teams match touchdowns here in the first quarter, and we're tied 7-7. That time a 6-play drive. And it was finished up by a touchdown catch from Wan'Dale Robinson. Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. The Commanders going to retake the field for drive number 2. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
From the 32-yard line now, here's a 2nd and 5. Here's Daniels. He's got the hook up downfield to Samuel. Touchdown, Washington. Deebo Samuel, 68 yards. And Washington has taken the lead. Seeing some pretty good offense here in this first quarter.
It's been a wild start to this quarter, as you noted. And now with that lead that we're seeing, can they retaliate? I get the sense this one's going to go back and forth all game long.
And that probably won't be the last long touchdown that we see in this one. Gay is on for the point after. It's up and good, and it's 14-7 now here in the first quarter. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. So the Giants getting the football back here for their second drive. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Moving backwards on first down, never a good thing. What does that do for the mindset on second down?
Well, it changes your play call, definitely, because as a play call, you're advancing yourself thinking, okay, we're going to get a gain here. Now you've got to go back in reverse, come up with something to pick up not just the yardage lost, but gain a few extra.
After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. From the gun, it's Wilson. That's to the sideline and incomplete.
And that is how you respond after taking one on the chin to begin this game. Give up a first drive touchdown, go back out on defense, and completely shut them down to force a 3-and-out.
On fourth down, here's Jamie Gillen on to punt. Fielded at about the 28. It'll go as a 42, make it a 43-yard punt. 6 on the return. And the Commanders will take over with a 1st and 10. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They start on the ground with Robinson here. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
Well, at the end of all that hitting and hollering, it was a 4-yard run, so the offense is going to go back to the huddle and feel pretty good about themselves. Defensively, you have to feel okay because you didn't let it turn into a bigger run, but the goal, shut it down for 2 yards or less. That's when you start to feel good about yourselves.
On 2nd down, another shot for Robinson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go down as a 2-yard loss, and it brings up a 3rd down.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
Here comes 3rd down and 7. Operating from the gun, Daniels. And that one too wide and incomplete.
Finally, this defense makes a stand. They'd given up touchdowns on their first 2 drives, but here they said, we've got to put a stop to that. Good coverage there to force a punting situation and a 4th down.
Now the former Oklahoma Sooner Tress Way on to punt the football. It's a 45-yard punt, just a 1-yard return. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now out come the Giants. On 1st down, they'll start out with Singletary. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. 25 yards the pickup there, and also a 1st down.
Outside handoff to the right side. If you're a running back, you love getting the ball early so you have vision to see what's happening in front of you.
Right tackle likes that call. Big play for him, but don't forget about the guys you always tell me on the backside sealing off.
When they talk about cutoff blocks, making sure no one can leak from the backside that can run a play down.
Yeah, nobody leaked. Big play. Now it's Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete. Second and 10. Wilson. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Well, he certainly thought he had an open look beyond the 1st down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Jamie Gillen now on to punt. And well done here. That one will kick out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. And the Washington offense heading out. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again. So it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball into their territory.
And they'll get him down up past the 15, just shy of the 20. The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
And when you have success throwing the football, the old cliche becomes true. The playbook opens up wide, and these screen passes, they become even more difficult to stop.
Daniels looking to throw. He finds his man, complete. It's Lane. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. 13 yards there and a Washington first. They'll motion the tight end across the formation. Robinson up the middle. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Good yardage there on first down. Exactly what you want. Get yourself set up to keep making first downs, keep the clock running. And if they're smart, you're starting to milk the clock. No hurry before you run your second down play.
Here's the first carry for Austin Eckler. And to the 42-yard line here and brought down there. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down. Out of the gun, they give to Robinson. And he'll get this up past the 45 to the 47. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. Now they'll switch it up here and look to throw. Open man is Samuel, complete. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 43. They picked up 5 yards last time. Now they double it and get 10 here.
Defensively going forward, they're going to have to watch out for him on plays just like that. It's a drag route across the field, and they're trying to free him up and let him run after the catch. That won't be the last time we see that play, and it works there to pick up a first down.
Hand off now to Robinson. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. Operating from the gun, Daniels. He completes this one to Terry McLaurin. Touchdown, Washington. Terry McLaurin, 38 yards. And the Commanders have taken a 2-touchdown lead now. So what a start. It's not often you even get 3 possessions in a first quarter, but he now has 3 touchdown passes. Here's Gay now to add the extra point. It's good, and it is now 21-7. So that drive takes him down the field in 8 plays. And it's finished off by a Terry McLaurin touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Gay to kick it away. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. And New York set to take the field. Here's Wilson to throw. Over the middle, he completes it to Robinson. So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be second down. Here's Wilson. And he'll get this underneath to Singletary. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. That one a first down pickup of 8. A give up the middle to Singletary. And he'll manage to pick up about 4. It's second down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning it in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Now a 2nd and 6. Throwing is Wilson. And that will be incomplete. They couldn't hook up on what's going to be the final play of this first quarter. A pretty wild first quarter. 21-7, our score. Giant football, and we're ready to begin the second quarter as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. Now Wilson. And that is incomplete. Not much going on this drive. Looks like they're going to have to punt it away, CD.
And right now I know a lot of their fans are screaming for the OC to change things up, get away from what he's been calling. Sometimes you just need better execution of the plays that have been called.
On to punt, Jamie Gillen. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. The Commanders' offense and Jaden Daniels getting set for this next possession. And he's had things all his way in this first half. The numbers sensational as he'll look to add to them with another drive here. Play action, now it's Daniels. This is Ertz on the pitch and catch. Just a gain of a couple there, and that'll make it second down.
And there's a completion to the tight end, and look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football, and that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Samuel bringing in the slant. They'll come up now, 3rd and 3. They'll try to pick up the first with Eckler. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. It's a pickup of 12 and a Commander's first down.
Most of their damage has been done through the air. I mean, they've rung the bell 3 times with passing touchdowns. But guess what? Ground game has not been neglected. Nice little burst right there.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Give him 3 on the keeper there, and it is second down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
From the 43, here's second down at 7. To throw is Daniels. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 35. That third down conversion good for 23.
Good strong throw and catch right there. And so far in this game, the alleys have been open for them to get completions, and they're taking advantage of it.
So the drive takes them into Giants territory now, 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Straight ahead, it's Robinson. The ball comes out, but this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. Can almost see inside his face mask there the look of relief. He coughed it up, but it goes out of bounds. They keep it.
Someone carrying around the lucky horseshoe, aren't they? If I were him, I'd go out and play the lottery after that one. A very fortunate man.
And they're operating in plus territory here. They're thinking points. Definitely don't want to lose the football at this juncture. Out route looking for McLaurin. He's got him. And he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down to about the 21 or 22. He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down. And McLaurin, the motion man right. Now Daniels going to give it up on the touch pass. Shelling through the defense. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
And a lot of times these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
Second down and a little more than a yard here. Back to the ground with Robinson. And he loses the football the second time. And the Giants have it. It's picked up. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, remember, he had a fumble earlier in this first half and got saved, but no such saving here. It's a turnover.
Yeah, and as a coach and as a teammate, you're hoping that he learned from the first one. There was a lesson there, but obviously he doesn't have enough focus in order to lose it a second time. That simply can't happen if you're trying to win a game.
New York set to take the field. They'll take over deep in their own end after the fumble recovery as they start 1st and 10. And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. Now the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of the football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. On the option, here's Eckler. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2.
Definitely an important sequence here for this defense. They've had their share of struggles in this first half. They just cannot afford to give up another touchdown here.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Off the play fake, Daniels. And an off-balance throw there, and it's going to wind up incomplete. This offense 2 for 2 on third downs on this drive. This is the most important of them all. 3rd and goal. From the shotgun, it's Daniels. He's got it. Touchdown, Commanders. Zach Ertz. A 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Commanders have moved out in front by 3 touchdowns. So the numbers are starting to pile up here early on. We have yet to reach halftime, yet that is already now 4 touchdown passes. Gay is on for the point after. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. So that one a 13-play drive in total. And it ends with a Zach Ertz touchdown. After the touchdown, it's Gay to kick this one away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. And the Giants ready to come out now. They're down 3 touchdowns to this point, needing to put something together as they have it 1st and 10. Throw left side, taken in by Slayton. And now time will be called here as Washington has an injured player down on the field. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. From the 33, here's a 2nd down and 4. Now it's Wilson. He'll get this to Devin Singletary out of the backfield. And he is going to lose yardage here. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And 3rd and 8 now. Heck of a play there to get to him quickly and get him down for a loss.
I think they did a really nice job getting ready for this game, scouting, watching film, and understanding defensively what the play design was.
Play action. It's Wilson. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. Dorrance Armstrong, he's the culprit, causes a loss of 5, and it brings up 4th down.
3 scores down, not even a halftime yet. They are not getting much generated offensively. They've got to figure it out.
It's tough because this defense just seems to be playing with so much confidence right now.
They really are. They are on their toes, and they're getting at them.
On is Jamie Gillen to punt this one away. Fielded just inside the 30. It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The home team's offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And he's done everything you could have asked for coming in. He's spread it around. He hasn't taken many chances. And he's potentially on his way to a big game throwing the football. It'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper. It's 2nd down. Now Daniels. And they will not get the connection there. It's incomplete.
I know we're just in the 2nd quarter and there's a ways to go in this game, but that's his 2nd drop. I'm wondering if that's a little bit of an alarm bell for them when they start calling plays on the offensive side of the ball.
His eyes already looking upfield on that last one before he brought it in. And this offense on 3rd down today, they've been near perfect. 4 for 5 to this point. This will be 3rd and 5. And they'll bring him down 1 yard shy after a pickup of 4. Tress Way on 4th down is sent out to punt. First kick 47. This one looks good as well. And New York set to take the field. See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Singletary again. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. First down for the Giants as they pick up 12. Singletary going to get the handoff. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick, quick, quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
Now a 2nd and 10. Handoff now. It's Gray with it. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 45. They get 9 yards back on the run there, and they're left with a much more makeable 3rd and 2. They'll try and run for the... And the ball is knocked out. And it's Washington that scoops it up. And they'll set up shop in enemy territory at the 45-yard line. He was trying to do anything he could to get that final little bit for the first down. Instead, he lost the ball.
Yeah, and he was short of the first down, but not by much. Trying his best, as you noted, to get there. Sometimes that extra effort can cost you.
Deebo Samuel trotting out with his offense to start this next drive, making his presence felt early in this one. First half, already over the century mark.
How about the yards per completion, too? That's a pretty darn good number there. Number of catches, but he's shredding defenses, getting big yardage with each and every one of them.
Room to maneuver at the 35 and down to the 29-yard line. They give him 16 yards there, and it's a Washington first down.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
And he is going to lose yardage here. He lost 6 there on the first down play.
If this was boxing, you think maybe they would have thought about stopping this one because this defense has been bruised, it's been battered, but this is why they keep the fight going, right? They just got done with a really nice play showing they still got a little bit left, don't they?
Haven't had many plays that they can clip, put in the film room and smile about, but hey, there's one.
Clip and save.
Tough spot looking at 2nd and 16 here after the big loss. Throwing now is Daniels. Looking for McLaurin, and he's got him. And he is going to lose yardage here. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long. To the air goes Daniels. He'll get this out wide to Eckler. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29. That'll bring up 4th down. They wind up getting 8 yards, but they needed more than that. Matt Gay now gets ready for the field goal try. From the right hash, it's a 46-yard attempt. And Gay knocks this one through, and that will extend their lead even further. So after 4 touchdowns in the game for this offense, this time they're forced into taking the 3.
But you did mention 4 touchdowns, right? So 4 out of 5, not too bad. I think that's a pretty good record for them.
After the made field goal, Gay back out there to kick it off. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. New York set to take the field. And last time they coughed it up, led to a field goal. They're fortunate that it only led to a field goal, but still, they're not happy about it.
Could you sense the relief, though, when they only gave up the field goal? And they were able to trot back out on the field and start this drive. A little more pep in their step because they didn't cost their team a touchdown. But they know they've got to do it a lot better than they did on the last possession.
The coach will just be relieved, though, if they recoup with a score here, right?
I think the coach would be ecstatic to see them pick themselves back up and now take it downfield, punch in the end zone without turning it over.
Here's 2nd and 10. Wilson. He'll get that to his tight end, Theo Johnson. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3. Here's Wilson. Going up top. Oh, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
Good, clean play. No flags coming out of the pocket of the officials. Turns into an incompletion, and that should get him off the field with a 3 and out.
Here's Jamie Gillendow as he's on for the 5th time here today. Pulled in at the 24. 42-yard punt, 6 on the return. And they will take over 1st and 10. The home team's offense and their quarterback headed out for this next possession. And you get a look at the numbers, they don't even tell the whole story. This has been a tremendous performance to this point. Here's Daniels. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. Working out of the gun, Daniels. Over the middle, complete to Samuel. And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. Daniels looking to throw. Flush to his right. That one a broken play, but it ends up being a good play. The scramble goes for 20. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. They go play action. Daniels. He finds his man, complete. It's Lane. Now Washington going to use the 2nd of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with 27 seconds remaining here in the 2nd quarter. From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down.
Good defensive call right there, because they had someone shadowing him along his entire route. And he was right there ready to provide a hit that prevents him from making another catch to his big start.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Throw to the right here, taken in by McLaurin. And the Commanders are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1. And with just 4 seconds left in this first half, a timeout call. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. From the right hash at a bit of a tight angle. Gay's kick is good, and that will extend their lead even further. So more of the same here, CD. Not a touchdown, but 3 more points added on to their lead.
Yeah, it's been a total domination here in this first half. Offensively, defensively, even the special teams have chipped in as he connects on the field goal. It may be a little bit premature, but I think the only thing they're worried about dominating now, the post-game meal.
Amir Smith-Marset now from his end zone. So we've reached halftime here in our nation's capital with the Commanders on top. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach!
We were treated to a fine performance in the first half from the Heisman Trophy winner, Jaden Daniels. He was nothing short of amazing, throwing 4 touchdown passes to help push his guys out to a sizable halftime lead.
And he'll be stopped up at the 25. The Giants offense set to begin this third quarter. Out of the gun, here's Wilson. Robinson's got it. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Maybe a good spot to take a shot. Here's 2nd and a yard from the 34. Quickly into the hands of Neighbors off the RPO. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Straight ahead, here's Tracy. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. First down, Giants on a pickup of 14. Those are the type of runs that we did not see from him in the first half, but a good start to the third quarter.
And I know what everyone's thinking that's watching this. They did a great job adjusting at the half. Oftentimes you don't make adjustments. You just dial into your game plan a little bit better, and maybe they're starting to make some headway.
That one taken in by Neighbors. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. Chewing up big yardage. Another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. Well, the margin on that scoreboard, obviously for them, it looks daunting. But I don't know, Charles. They're probably not focused on that right now. Maybe just chaining together a positive drive with plays like we just saw, giving themselves something to build on.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. And what they have to be careful of is getting glued to that scoreboard trying to do too much. Because if you do that, you're all but guaranteed to start making mistakes. Just focus on one play at a time and make each one successful.
A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last 2 plays.
The more football I watch, the more I want to check and see if teams are going to panic when they're down on the scoreboard. And this team has shown no signs of doing that. A lot of the time, they come out after the half. Things haven't worked so well in the first go-around. They want to throw the football like crazy. But the way to open up throwing the ball is to run it. And they've run it well here to start the second half.
Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Not too many offenses want to turn down long drives, but when you're down what they are, they've got to pay it off with some points.
Now 2nd and 9. Here's Wilson. It's complete to Robinson. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and that'll bring up what looks to be a 3rd and inches. Can't be more than a half a foot. Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete. The contact there enough to jar that ball free, and it brings up 4th down.
That was a touchdown if he could have hung on. Instead, it was a well-timed collision to jar that one free.
On fourth down, on is Graham Gano for the Giants field goal. From the right hash here, should be an easy one. Gano's kick is good, and that will cut the lead down to 3 scores at 24. I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit third quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. So now out comes this offense led by their quarterback as they take over once more. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. Here's Eckler to begin the drive. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 4 on the first down play.
I have zero rooting interest in either team in this game. I only want a good game. But with all the offense we've seen from them tonight, it's kind of nice to see the defense step up and make a big play.
Yeah, I was wondering if they were ever going to get him in the backfield. Nice to see him get a stop. So the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. He finds his man complete. That's Lane. And he gets this one just shy of the 40 down at the 39. 5th catch of the afternoon, and that gives him a first down.
And while we may be looking at the scoreboard, this offense certainly is not, because they're showing no signs of backing down, even with a 3-score lead here in the third quarter. I think they keep taking their shots. They've seen blown leads happen throughout this league. They don't want to fall victim to it themselves.
To throw is Daniels. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. That'll go for a gain of 7, and that'll bring up 2nd down. Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
Ball spotted at the 45. Here's 2nd and 3. Operating from the gun. Daniels finding Ertz again. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Giants' 43. It's a gain of 11 yards that time, and it produces a new set of downs.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
Running on first down, Eckler. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11. Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game against them, but tally that one on the side of the defense.
Do you think maybe, possibly, it can be a little bit of a changer for them? Maybe not a game changer, but a little bit of a momentum one that maybe they can string together some pretty good plays and slow them down.
Operating from the gun, Daniels. Oh, he'll want that one back. Incomplete. He doesn't drop too many in that department. 3rd down.
But plain and simple, that's the 2nd time today that he's dropped a pass.
And that one, I think, maybe even a little easier than the earlier one that he dropped. Surprising.
Was this game announced as a night game prior to, and maybe his rhythm is just off? He's got thrown off. He's going to have to wake up, enjoy the sunshine, and go play.
Sets up the screen to Robinson. And he stopped up short of the first as they tackle him down at about the 36. That'll bring up 4th down. They wind up getting 8 yards, but they needed more than that.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long, because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the first down.
They'll run for it with Robinson. And he won't get there. They stop him a few yards short of the line to gain. Washington goes for it, but it does not pan out. And the Giants are going to get the football back. New York's offense back out there and set to go. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
It was Deron Payne who got in there to make the play.
I don't think there's any doubt that if it's me, I'd be really cautious about continuing to call this play because you got to know, defenders, if they get a free shot at the QB, they want to take it, and they want to take it big.
And they got it there on the option play for a loss. Now they go screen. It's complete. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
Throwing is Wilson. There's a short one caught by Johnson. So he'll be stopped here for no gain. And that's going to make it 4th down.
That goes in the category of a play that the defense is going to cherish and excites them. A completion, yes, you give up the pass, but no gain. I mean, that's exactly what you want on defense.
And sets up the 4th down. And here's Gillen on now to punt as he gets this one away. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way into the end zone for a touchback. And Washington going to come back out here to take over offensively. And as we look back at how we got here, you'll notice a common theme in these highlights. A lot of yardage through the air. The passing game has been sharp right from the outset. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And a drive that stalled out last time. Went for it on 4th. Didn't get it. How does that translate here? I would imagine momentum's with the defense.
Definitely with the defense because anytime anyone goes for it on 4th down, that's telling you as a defense that you can't stop us. We don't think that you can. And when you actually do, that may put a little dent in the confidence of the offense the next time they hit the field.
Yeah, we'll see if they can bring that pride the offense this go-around. They'll motion McLaurin left. Oh, here's a fake on the jet sweep and a give to Robinson. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Only a gain of a yard, but that's all they needed. The tight end in motion right. Back to Robinson now on 1st down. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down. Second down and a yard. From the shotgun, it's Daniels. To the right side and intercepted. Picked off by Bobby Okereke. And he'll return this ball across midfield to the 47-yard line. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
New York set to take the field. Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going. That was nice work there defensively to force incompletion. Now, even though this drive started in plus territory, they're still not in field goal range yet, so they can work towards another couple of stops and not allowing that turnover to hurt.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They'll hand it to Tracy. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Not the start to the drive they were looking for. That run doesn't do much at all.
No, not at all, and it leaves them with 3rd and long. And, you know, this is the time of game where these drives really, really start to matter. They've got to make some moves.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Wilson. Completing it to the right side, Johnson. And he'll get this to the 40, but that's still going to be a few yards short of the 1st down. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And that's going to bring up a 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he can scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
And this one is no good. He missed it. And the deficit will stay at 3 scores.
Well, Brandon, anything beyond 50, you start rolling the dice a bit. And once you get up around 57, 58 yards, the chances of making it go down dramatically. And sure enough, this one winds up no good.
The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the 3rd quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Up the middle with Eckler. And different running back, same result as they stop him behind the line. That'll wind up as a loss on the play, so now they're staring at a 3rd down and 12.
I think it might be time to move to a different section of the playbook there because back-to-back runs, both for loss. Now they have 3rd and long coming up.
So time to start going in the other direction as they come up now 3rd and long. Now Daniels. He throws it on the move but can't connect as that falls incomplete.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good, but when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion as we just saw there, that's winning football.
Here's Tressway now as he's on to punt for Washington. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. The Giants offense at the line ready to begin their next drive. And they've got to be a little bit frustrated about that last drive. Missed field goal.
Always hurts a team because, you know, you've put something out there. You've given yourself a chance. You're in range and the ball doesn't go through the posts. But it's not something to panic about, I don't believe. Just keep playing and keep going.
3 quarters in the books. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now at Commanders Field. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Now Wilson. And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
He was trying to get that one out to his running back out of the backfield, but that one was read and timed perfectly, and they were able to break it up.
The offense on 3rd down, they've converted just twice and have had plenty of opportunities. This is 3rd and 9. Now it's Wilson. And he nearly got the first himself, but it appears he's going to be about a yard or 2 short. Give him 8 yards that time on the scramble, and now 4th down. They'll try and run for it. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on fourth. At first glance, I actually wasn't sure that he got it, but he ended up getting it by about a full yard.
He certainly did, but it took a little effort, didn't it? Took some nice push, a little crease inside, and some determined running to make sure that he got the first down.
To throw is Wilson. Quick completion here to Johnson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 10 yards, good for a giant first down. Well, those are the types of plays they probably wish they had made more of in the first three quarters. And this deficit going to be tough to overcome here in the fourth. But a nice first down and a pickup on that throw.
Yeah, and this is where as coaches, you're looking for effort and execution. Even though the scoreboard is going against you, you want to find out who's going to fight, who's going to scrap, who's going to keep their heads up and continue to play.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
And good yardage there on first down, because sometimes all you need to do on the screen is get one key block. That might set your man free, and that was pretty good pursuit to the football defensively, or it could have gone for more.
Now it's Wilson. Eluding the pressure right. The rushing numbers for Wilson may be down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the first down. Here's Wilson to throw. Throwing quickly there, but it's incomplete. Well, it just seems like all game long there hasn't been a lot of sync quarterback to wide receiver on this side of the football.
They haven't been on the same page, quarterback and receivers. Heck, they haven't been on the same grease board when you draw plays up. They haven't been on the same Surface tablet that you look at on the sidelines. Nothing's worked for them. They've got to find a way to start matching each other's movements.
And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. Here's Wilson. And that is incomplete. Another incomplete pass there. We've seen a bevy of those. This secondary, they've been pretty good, haven't they?
They certainly have. They've allowed the one touchdown through the air, and they're going to be upset about that later when they watch the game tape. But other than that, they've been absolutely rock solid.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. They only got a couple, but a couple's all that they needed as they convert on 4th. So this drive going to continue following the conversion on 4th. Here's 1st and 10. To throw again is Wilson. They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. Another good completion on the drive as the Giants have a first down. A 3-score game here late. You can probably rule out the comeback, but certainly some kind of a moral victory to be had if they can get a few more points to close things out. And to that end, a nice pass play there to push things downfield.
Yeah, and we know in this league, a loss is a loss, and no one wants anything to count as a moral victory or, boy, something that feels a little bit cheap. But if they trim that lead down to just 2 scores, that's still a benefit to this squad. It sort of looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
Off the play fake, here's Wilson. Going right side, he finds Slayton. And he'll go out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. Wilson Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And the Giants are going to be set up with a 1st and goal as they get the conversion there on 3rd and inches. Pretty good location there on that throw.
It really was, wasn't it? That was likely one where the receiver was either going to catch it or no one. Really good decision. And, boy, what a catch and move right there.
And a tough spot to get it over the middle. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. So reverse the celebration. We'll see if they have something else in their bag of tricks.
And isn't that always tough to watch when they score and you see the excitement, and then when they realize those points aren't going to count? Can they get it back together and find their way back to the end zone?
Able to fight for about 4 yards there to the 13. So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? Back to throw. Wilson. And he'll slide to a halt here. Still a little shy of the 1st down marker. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for 3rd. From the gun, it's Wilson. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete. Well, so a drive that spans all that time, and yet you may only come away with 3 points here.
Well, your defense, all right, they actually like these long drives. They get to rest over on the sidelines for a while. But when you're not finishing with points in terms of touchdowns, that's frustrating. They've got to figure out how to close out these long drives and get 6s instead of 3s.
Steps away to his left. The Giants go on 4th, but come up empty. And this long drive is going to wind up yielding nothing. Now we get another look at Washington on offense. Been a very strong performance for them, really, on both sides of the football. The turnover on downs, the most recent example, and now, obviously, they're in a great spot here.
Yeah, if you're over on the bench right now, you're shaking hands with your teammate, you're hugging him, give him a little dap. Been a big, big performance for them. Now you just don't get careless. Take care of the ball on the way out.
And they'll get him down up past the 15-yard line. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive, 1st down. The passing game continues to be their friend. Even with a stable lead here in the 4th, Charles, they're going back to that well.
Yeah, with their overall philosophy, you know that they trust their quarterback. He's been able to throw it well. They continue to throw these safe passes. Who can blame them?
The first carry for Jeremy McNichols. And he'll lose yardage here, back to the 15. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. That's one where you probably give the ball carrier a bit of a mulligan, right?
Yeah.
Where was he going to go there?
Yeah, you could almost see his brain turning over from our perspective. Just put your foot in the ground and go, except there was no place to put his foot in the ground, and there was no place to go. No room to roam.
They'll wind up with positive yardage. It's a gain of 3, but now it's 3rd down. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. Here's McNichols. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
As much as I praise teams for being true to who they are, in this situation, I wonder if maybe they outguessed themselves a little bit. 3rd down seemed like an obvious passing situation. They chose to run it and didn't get anywhere close to the 1st down.
Here's Tressway now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. That'll be a 44-yard boot, just a yard on the return as he's covered up quickly. And it'll be Giant football, 1st and 10. The New York set to take the field.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half is pretty much... Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by the linebacker, Bobby Wagner. And he's able to get it back to the 33-yard line. Well, just another reason to celebrate there on the defensive side with the interception, and this is a game that they clearly have firmly in their grasp.
Yeah, a lot of handshakes, a lot of hugs, a lot of smiles. It's been their day.
The Commanders preparing for their next possession. And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable 4th quarter lead. On 1st and 10, it's Robinson.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. That was off kilter. Offense up front, everyone was just kind of out of sync.
Well, from my perspective, that certainly looked like the defense just destroyed that play, absolutely just took it over.
All right, so I'm going to revamp what I said. The defense was in sync. How about that?
Oh, I like that one.
And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the 1st down at the 29. The keeper good for only 4, and that's going to lead to a 4th down. Matt Gay now gets ready for the field goal try. From the right hash, it's a 46-yard attempt. And Gay knocks this one through, and that will extend their lead even further.
Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And able to get this out to the 25.
The New York set to take the field.
So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot. Looking to throw. Wilson. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes.
The pressure from multiple guys there as they bury him for a big 9-yard loss.
We all know he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league, but definitely not today. His team trailing by multiple touchdowns and a late sack. Just a parting gift from the defense for him to take back to the locker room with him.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Giants football here as we welcome you back.
3rd down and 10.
And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over.
That ball nearly intercepted, but he could not hang on. Oh, a pick there certainly would have been nice. Instead, at least, it'll be 4th down. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
He's going to let it fly. And that's caught inside the 35. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Darius Slayton, 75 yards. And the Giants get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. He's got them out now to a 3-score lead here in the 4th quarter after that one, CD. And, well, he looked right off the line like he knew that that ball was coming his way, and he secured it for 6 points.
Yeah, and I think when you're leading by a healthy margin already, it actually loosens you up and allows you to take maybe a few more chances and definitely play with more confidence, because he certainly saw something he could exploit in the defense, and he made sure to let his quarterback know, just get it to me. And the rest was all up to him, and he delivered and made it a 3-score game.
So still lots of work left to do, but here comes the onside kick. And this is going to be covered up by Washington. The Commanders' offense and Deebo Samuel headed back onto the field, and he's had some kind of game. They made it a point to get him involved early, and it has paid giant rewards to this stage of the game. Robinson up the middle. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
Yeah, things were pretty stacked up there in the middle of the line. A lot of bodies, not much space. I think ultimately he was fortunate to get anything out of that run.
Now we're at the 41, 2nd and 9. On the ground, this is McNichols. Flashed the stick skills, but didn't get a ton from it. Stopped short of the 35. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now. On the give, here's Robinson. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
Sometimes that's a danger putting that jumbo set out there. You just get a lot of bodies massed in one location. You could wind up with 18, 20, maybe even all 22 in the box, and there's nowhere to run the football.
So it's Washington getting the victory here. And it was a game where they were off and running in the 1st quarter, Charles, and never looked back.
You know, partner, after a while, we always say the same thing, don't we? They set the tone early, right? They started fast. So I asked a few of my horse racing friends, do you have a term for me that we can use to cover that? And they said, yeah. When a horse breaks out like that, you say he caught a flyer out of the gate. And that's exactly what this team did today. I mean, they jumped out there, jumped on them, and were never headed.
So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. The Commanders pick up the victory as we say so long from our nation's capital.